Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for watching the video. Whoever did watch the last video I made, welcome back to the Silver and Blue. This is my second video. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles on a Sunday game. Must-win game. A game that they could have easily had in the bag. Don't know what happened. A lot of miscommunication between Dak Prescott and the receivers. Defense actually came to play. Defense actually stepped up, in my opinion. I just believe that the receivers didn't do their job. The receivers didn't bring the A game, and I think that was the ultimate demise, or that was the reason that the Dallas Cowboys couldn't come up with a win. And also, we want to point out the elephant in the room, the coaching. We all know Jason Garrett has to go, or at least address. Let's address that situation. So, we all saw the game yesterday. I'm sorry for being a little late. Just didn't have time to do this yesterday. Plus, I was disappointed in the game, just in everything that went on. Like I mentioned before, there was a lot of good parts, but there was also more bad parts. And I want to go straight to it. Just show you a couple of plays here that I thought they weren't really Dak's fault. I believe that he threw pretty good balls, pretty good passes. Just the receivers just weren't connecting. I don't know what happened with the receivers. They lost motivation. Morale went down. It was a couple of passes from Jason Witten could have caught and didn't. Cooper, I know that he always jumps up in the air and catches these balls, and I just don't know what happened. So this one I want to show you was in the first quarter, 8 minutes of the game. Dak throws to Cooper. Yes, it was tipped, but it was still catchable. Like, Dak Prescott throws it, it was catchable, tipped, and just drops to the floor. Ends the play. And we remember, it was the last game versus the Eagles, we were tied. The ball was tipped by the Eagles defender, and Cooper still caught it. Remember the one where he ran into the touchdown to win the game? Yeah, so I don't know what happened here. Cooper just wasn't connecting. So, and then this next play, this one's the Eagles. The Eagles had the ball 7 minutes, 30 seconds into the game, or left in the game. Wentz goes to Mike Wallace, number 14, wide open. Awuzie was the actual defender there. Don't know what happened. He just blew his coverage. Usually you see these Cowboys defenders have tight coverage, man-to-man, or at least be closer to whoever they're defending. This time there was big gaps between the defenders and the receivers. They weren't reading the defenders that well. Just want to show you this one so you can see it real quick. You have Wentz protected. Look at that. Mike Wallace catches the ball and then gets the first down. So these are little things where they need to click. They need to connect. And we've seen that happen before. We saw that happening last week against the Rams, a game that they played perfectly. And then this week, it's just everything fell apart. There was just a lot of plays that I saw, and when I saw them, I'm like, come on, what happened? It's something that they should have caught, or something that they should have completed. First down, a lot of missed opportunities on conversions. First downs that they should have had, they could have had, and then they just didn't. And again, this team just wasn't running on all 8 cylinders today, or yesterday. All right, so another video I want to show you, or another highlight I want to show you. This is where Miles Sanders runs for about a gajillion yards, and we'll see it here. This one, I think Carson Wentz throws it to Miles Sanders, wide open. Look at that, just runs for about 30 yards after Dallas Cowboys defenders just missed those tackles. I mean, this is the thing that they got to fix. The defense steps up, but then the plays like that, they have to make. They have to make. Miles Sanders shouldn't have been that open. Miss coverages, miscommunications. Defenders are not communicating. I mean, Sean Lee, he's a vet. He's the one that normally drives the defense. But I know they're banged up. They're banged up. The whole team's banged up. But this is just unacceptable. One of these mistakes kind of sets the tone for how the entire game is gonna go. And yeah, they start off slow again. They start to trail in this game. There was a touchdown. Then I think it was Zach Ertz who scored the first touchdown, and then Dallas Goddard scored the second one. I see these are the only two basically receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles that Carson Wentz has. The only two, and the Cowboys know this. The Cowboys knew this going into this game. They knew that those two were the two players basically that they had to focus on. Every other player there were either bench warmers, second string, or third string players. They weren't really that important. They weren't really a threat. But what happened? The veterans on the Dallas Cowboys side could not manage the game. They could not put a stop on the rookies on the offensive side of the Philadelphia Eagles team. And we all saw the score. Now was it 17-9? No touchdowns from the Dallas Cowboys offense. No touchdown passes from Dak Prescott. No touchdowns from Amari Cooper or Randall Cobb or even Michael Gallup. There was a few passes that were thrown that Cooper didn't catch. Overthrown to Michael Gallup. Randall Cobb actually stepped up in the second half and caught a couple of passes that I thought were pretty difficult, and very impressed. But man, this is just frustrating. Okay, so this is frustrating. Just like this one too. I said the defense stepped up, which they did. I believe that they stepped up a little more than the offense did. With the offense, just so many dropped passes. With the defense, they did what they had to do. They ended some plays. They stopped some passes. They tipped some passes. But like for example, this one I believe that they blew two defenders on Zach Ertz, and they couldn't stop the touchdown. So I just want to show you that real quick right here. It goes Carson Wentz, fakes it, and then throws it. Zach Ertz in the end zone. And look at that. You have two Cowboy defenders. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't stop them. Like, that's just unacceptable. We can't let that happen. They can't let that happen. If they go into the playoffs, they're gonna play with much higher caliber teams. They do stuff like that in the playoffs. Playoffs are one and done. Okay, you cannot do that. You have to step it up. So yeah, it's frustrating seeing that they scored the first touchdown, and then we can't even get it going. We couldn't score a touchdown at all. So yeah, I feel you. I understand how everybody feels, but you know what? Let's still support the team. We have one more week to go in the season. If we would have won yesterday, it would have been one and done. We would have been it. The Cowboys were in control of their own destiny. Now we're basically hoping that the Giants play their A game and beat the Eagles. So this is basically on the Giants' hands now, and I don't want to root for the Giants because they're a division rival. But next week, let's go Giants. I mean, they have to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in order for the Eagles to be out of the playoffs and the Cowboys to have another chance. Do I want to see them in the playoffs as an 8-8 team? No, I do not, and I said that before. I don't want to see them in the playoffs with that record, how they're playing, win, and who knows? They might be different. They might be a different team in the playoffs. In the normal season, they may be spotty here and there, have some failures along with some accomplishments, some improvements, but in the playoffs, they may be a different animal. So who knows? At this point, it is still kind of unpredictable. I don't want to predict anything. I'm hoping that the Dallas Cowboys do step up, beat the Redskins, and that the Giants step up and beat the Eagles. So, yeah, this is the one time where Dallas Cowboys fans should be excited about the Giants beating the Eagles, or root for the Giants at least. That's some help. But so that's how I feel about next week's game. So I just want to end it with this. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the game next week, and VIP of this game, Basically, the only player with points on the board is Kai Forbath, the kicker. So yeah, they got rid of what was it? A couple years ago, they got rid of Dan Bailey and got Brett Maher in. Brett Maher was good starting off, a couple of years in, and then he missed 10 field goals in the normal season. This year, they got rid of him, and then they went and got Kai Forbath, who went 3-3. So 3 for 3 in this game. He's the only one with the points on the board, so I think that man's gonna get paid. What we need to fix going into next week, just everything. Communication. Dak Prescott, he didn't do a poor job. He did what he had to do. He was playing through an injured throwing arm because his shoulder was bad. His index finger on his right arm was injured as well. But, what can you expect? All of his passes weren't going to be perfect. Okay? He did throw a few where I thought they were going to get dropped, and then Randall Cobb dove and caught the ball. And there was a couple where he connected with Michael Gallup that I thought were really good throws. There's a few where I believe Jason Witten just dropped the ball. Pun intended. He dropped the ball. There was somewhere he should have caught it. I mean, I've never seen Jason Witten not catch the ball. And there was a couple of times where he did. So that was also surprising. The reason why they sat Amari Cooper in the last two plays, I believe, instead of using him, he could have scored the touchdown. That's all in the coach. You make the calls that you're not supposed to make, at crucial moments. And you take players out that you're supposed to keep in at very crucial moments. That's just on the coaching. That does fall on the coaches. So let's move on to the next week. Let's prepare for the next week's practice, and let's hope that the team just gets their act together and morale. Whatever Jason Garrett did last week before the Rams game, which seemed to work, boost the team's morale, and look, they went in there and beat the Rams, and just mop the floor with them. So whatever he did last week, let's do this again this week. Let's try it again, Jason. Show them old clips of 2016 season when they went 13-3. Remember that? Show them those clips. See if that'll motivate them a little bit. And then we'll be back here next Sunday when we play the Redskins, and hoping that the Giants step up and beat the Eagles on that game. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it short here. I'll probably make another video with some other highlights, but I'm gonna keep this one a little short. And then let's just hope for the best next week. All right, Silver and Blue out.